Alright, so this video is about Rob Gavagan. A little over a month ago, he made a video on YouTube about the Natalie situation. Now, these guys, most generally, just don't give a shit about me. They want to tell an interesting story for ratings. Now, Rob Gavagan claimed that he was going to listen to me and send him some stuff via Gmail. When you don't respond, I don't really have any reason to send you anything. When I send you some stuff and then you ignore me for a month, yeah, I don't believe for a moment that you're interested in the truth. And I sure as hell don't believe for a moment that you're going to try to help me. If you're not interested in the truth, you can't help me anyway. Now, there was a support on that channel for me, which is pretty odd because when Natalie first disappeared, it was quite the opposite. It was basically just rampant cruelty at the hands of everybody from law enforcement to people who had claimed to be my friends, claimed to love me. Of course, did they really? Of course not. Fuck no. If they loved me, they would have tried to do something to protect me against the victimization that I literally still have to endure. Why do I have to endure this? Because the cops don't give a fuck about the homeless, and if they can call you mentally ill and use that as an excuse to not do their jobs, that's what they're gonna fucking do. If they do something wrong and they can use public bias to get away with it, well, fuck yeah, that's what they're gonna do. Oh, the public hates homosexuals. Well, he's a homosexual. Ah, well, now the public hates Christians, so we'll just say he's a Christian. Oh, well, now the public hates Muslims, so we'll say he's a Muslim. Oh, well, the public always hates the homeless, so we'll just make him homeless. Let's force him into homelessness and then tell him that he chose it. Let's assault him and charge him with assault and pretend like we're the victims. Meanwhile, that officer, the first officer to assault me after Natalie Bollinger was killed, was Lolatai, an officer with a history of abuse. Now, I understand that I'm not supposed to talk about that situation because apparently talking about police brutality takes away from the black cause. I don't fucking understand that. I also don't fucking care because black people aren't the only victims of police brutality. Now we can read this stuff here. I'm going to give you the link to this page, by the way. Apparently, this guy had been off the air for quite a while. And he came back, and there was someone named Stairs and Gaze or some fucking crazy shit. Hold on a second. Let's see. Oh, and by the way, I'm blocked from being able to reply to any of these people on his YouTube channel. Lots of people were showing me support, but then again, when I type to them to tell them thank you, it says, you weren't able to add your reply. Please try again. Well, I don't know how many times I need to try again. I'm pretty sure I'm blocked. Now I'm going to type up here where it says add public comment instead of trying to communicate with those people. By those people, I mean the people that I was sending a message to that the messages didn't go through. For those of you who want to assume that when I say you people, I'm talking about black people because you think that everything that anybody ever says is fucking racist. I'm sorry, you're an idiot. I didn't make you that way, so I couldn't be sorry. And matter of fact, I'm not. I didn't make you an idiot. And if you're intelligent, well, thank you. Thank you for being intelligent. Thank you for using your brain. Um, that's a lot of fucking replies too. It's a lot of reading. Most of these are from a month. I suppose I should start at the top. I typed, I'm Sean Schwartz. I'm about to listen to your podcast thingy. I'll let you know anything you got wrong. And of course I did. Someone named Cheese Kid 26 typed, didn't believe you until I checked your channel. Hey Sean, I really hope you're doing well. The second I saw you, I knew you were innocent. Don't know how or why. I just saw you and said to myself, there's no did it. Maybe it's my dad's instincts. He was a cop for 23 years. He passed on to me. Don't know. You are innocent. Now, first of all, I don't trust any of your instincts. Your instincts are not instincts, they're learned bias. If the cops had decent instincts, well, they'd get rid of the bad cops. We'd have actual criminals in jail. Thing is, instincts don't mean shit. What does mean something, or what should mean something, is evidence. But when you're not allowed to show evidence, it doesn't fucking matter, does it? Anyway, I replied to Cheese Kid 26. The cops knew I didn't kill Natalie, but never came forward. Instead, they coordinated with my predators. And then in parentheses, I typed Natalie's druggy friends and druggy family, including child molesters and rapists, to prevent me from showing the truth. I still deal with the consequences every single day. And it says, we weren't able to add your reply. Please try again. Someone called Hooligan typed, hope you're doing okay. Keep your chin up, man. I replied back, Hooligan, I'm not. And it says, you weren't able to add your reply. Please try again. Matty R typed, hope you're doing good, man. Now, mind you, as far as the popularity contest goes, there were 5.5 thousand people who liked the fact that I typed, I'm Sean Schwartz. I'm about to listen to your podcast thingy. I'll let you know anything you got wrong. Cheese Kid, he got 1,000 likes for what he typed. Hooligan got 558 likes for what they typed. Could be a man or a woman, I don't know. Matty R got 303 likes for what they typed. Nadia N typed Cheese Kid 26 STFU. You, like everyone else, thought he was guilty. Cheese Kid 26 typed, that's absolutely not true at all. I didn't think he was guilty, and hearing his story and explanation further proved it for me. The connections linking him to the crime were circumstantial at best. Stop being an ass. See, here's the thing. The public thought that I was guilty because the police didn't do their jobs. Well, some people in this, later on, we might get to it, actually, I hope. People are talking about, well, they're judging me differently than they judge Natalie, first of all. But there's also a lot of stuff that really, really, really need to be brought forward in court. A lot of these situations where people are mad at me, they're mad at me because I spoke up publicly. about their situations and mine, because it does have to do with Natalie's death. And it does have to do with the fact that I was trying to get help for a whole year before Natalie died. Now, a lot of people type stuff like, you followed her, you followed her, you followed her. Like fucking hell I did. I didn't follow her anywhere. I went where she asked, and I left when it was no longer a positive situation. When she asked me to go to Virginia, I went to Virginia. Now, why did I go to Virginia? Because Natalie asked me to. Matter of fact, she wasn't even going to go to Virginia unless I promised to go visit her in Virginia. She wasn't even going to get on the fucking airplane. Meanwhile, the things that Natalie was afraid that I would do, first of all, you need to pay attention to the fact that me, this young woman, not little girl, was strung out on fucking drugs. She had enough drugs in her fucking system to kill most people. Most of her friends who've been in contact with me, also druggies, addicted to the same stuff. I mean, hell, Sierra, just a week and a half ago, fucking, she went on a bender because her girlfriend ditched her, decided she was done with her. So Sierra decided to go on a meth bender and ended up with the psychosis. What's that? That's where you do so much of that shit that your perception of reality is pretty well fucked. Now, with me, people got a tendency to believe that I'm retarded. That's what autism means to most of America. Y'all see Rain Man, and then if I'm not like Rain Man, I must not be autistic. Or you have an autistic cousin who shits himself and doesn't speak, and he's 26 years old. So because I'm not like your cousin or your brother or whoever's like that, then I must not be autistic. Well, your cousin or brother or whoever isn't like Rain Man, are they? Then again, Rain Man isn't a real person. That's Dustin Hoffman playing a part. A lot of times people play an autistic person, they play somebody who's retarded. I know a lot of y'all find that word offensive. I find it offensive too. You know, I've been picked on my entire life for being gay, and I'm not gay. But I stick up for gay people. Why is that? Because kids are fucking mean. They're mean enough to straight kids about being. Now, the thing is that I was afraid of, I knew to be afraid of from experience, from my experience, and from many other homeless people's experiences. While Natalie was pretending like she was afraid I might do something, the things I was afraid of were actually happening. All of my worst fears actually happened. And why is that? Because it was a popularity contest. It's about who's prettier. People want to pretend that I'm some sort of a terrible excuse for a human being. I must be some sort of child molester or rapist or some shit. You know, none of that stuff came from Natalie. None of it. Not even one of it. Natalie never once told a single soul out of the people that she would have told this to. She never told a single soul that I did anything of that sort. That was all just rumors that got out of hand. Now, why did they get out of hand? Because Natalie was popular. She hung out with the druggy crowd, and the druggy crowd, well, they're mostly permanently psychosis. pretty well permanently stuck in that state of mind. When a man is not allowed to defend himself, when the system and the people who work in it and for it go out of their way at every point in time to make sure not to look at evidence, there is a major fucking problem here. I had to break the law because my rights, my constitutional rights, were violated. My rights as an American citizen were violated. My rights as a disabled person were violated. I was forced to break the law because the law is not required to do their jobs. Now, we pay them to do their jobs, but without a way to enforce the law, i.e., body cameras, these officers don't have to follow the law. They can break the law whenever they want. They can do whatever they want to whoever they want as long as they're too broke to sue. As long as they can eat up all of somebody's money by charging them with crimes that they didn't commit. But it's fine, isn't it? It's okay to do this to people you deem mentally ill because they're not human to you. It's okay for you to do this to the homeless because they're not human to you. Natalie and her friends pushed me to the point that I wanted my life to end. To end. To the point that I was begging people to kill me. For over a year before Natalie was killed. People are like, you stalked her. Bullshit. When I went to Virginia, it was at her fucking request. When I left, I got a hold of her and her sister both. Sent them both a text message saying, hey, I understand if you guys are afraid. If you tell me that you're afraid, I'll leave and I'll never talk to you again. Natalie called me up. She told me she loved me. She said her family was afraid of me, not to talk to her again. So I left the state. And I was never going to talk to her again. But then I got to Boulder, Colorado, and I had to deal with violent assholes. Now, sure, at first they were just pushing me and shoving me and calling me names. And at first, the names that they were calling me were, oh, they weren't so bad. Being accused of stalking somebody's pretty well fucked up, especially when you did with that person. This evidence to Rob Gavagan, I've sent it to a lot of different people, claimed that they cared, that they wanted to help, but really, all they were after was ratings for money. Now, a lot of people on Rob Gavagan's channel claim that it's not Rob Gavagan who wrote that script, that it was some Glares, fucking goddamn connection problems. It was some Glares or something or other lady who wrote the script, and that Rob Gavagan was just reading the script. And a lot of people that are fans of his really didn't like that. They didn't really like that version of the show. And a lot of them told me, Rob is actually a lot more decent person. His old stuff is a lot different. He didn't used to be like that. He's trying to work together with this Glares lady and so on and so forth. Well, he claimed that he was interested in my side, but it's been over a month. He hasn't gotten back to me, and he blocked me from his fucking site. Or blocked me from commenting. I'd like to at least be able to tell those people thank you. I mean, before Rob posted that up, shit, things were exactly the opposite. There was a lot of people victimizing me because they felt justified and victimizing an innocent man just because the police wouldn't do their fucking jobs. They wouldn't do their jobs before Natalie was killed. And after Natalie was killed, they were too busy covering up the fact that they didn't do their jobs before Natalie was killed. I am a disabled American. You guys telling me that I should be able to do a backflip doesn't give me the ability to do a fucking backflip. No matter how many times you say it, I cannot do a backflip. It hurts me to step off the fucking curb. I suppose we could just skim through, since I've done a lot of talking. Here's one from Kugaji Kalo. I will admit, for a moment I thought you were guilty, but as soon as I saw the segment where the reporters were following you, I knew you weren't. I hope that your life is getting back together. I am truly sorry for the loss of your friend. My life isn't getting back together. I mean, I'm starting to accumulate stuff. I'm starting to get part of my debt paid off. I can't see my loved ones. I still can't see my loved ones. Why did this make me so fucking suicidal? Why did this make me want my life to end? Is it because I couldn't see Natalie? No, it's because I couldn't see any of my loved ones. 10 years I was homeless in Boulder, Colorado. 10 years I was good to people. 10 years is a long time. And to lose all of your friends and all of your loved ones over a rumor, something you didn't even do. And these people want to keep on going back to that. You stalked her like fucking hell I did. I sure as fuck harassed her. You goddamn right. Before Virginia, I didn't. In Virginia, we were friends. All of those places that we went in Virginia, those were all Natalie and Alicia's ideas. But by preventing me from going to court, preventing me from defending myself, and posting slander all over the fucking news, that slander I would have been allowed to defend myself against if the police, before Natalie's death, had lifted a goddamn finger. But then again, I don't have a vagina, do I? I'm not a pretty girl, am I? I'm also not strung out on meth. I'm not strung out on heroin. So, that's two things I got that Natalie doesn't. But then again, it doesn't matter, does it? Because she's pretty. Because she's female. Here in America, we get it ingrained in our brains from day one. You don't disrespect women. You don't disrespect women. No matter what, you just gotta take what a woman fucking dishes out. That's fucking bullshit. Hell the fuck no. I don't owe it to women to take verbal and physical abuse because they don't want to tell the fucking truth. I don't owe it to Jamie Curtis to lie about her goddamn situation because she wants to play men. As far as my relationship with Jamie Curtis goes, beyond the safety of her son, I don't give a fuck. If she was to call me today and say that her new boyfriend is beating the fuck out of her and she needs a rescue, would I go to rescue her? Well, I don't have the means to do so, but I would probably try because I'm stupid. Just like when Natalie disappeared, I tried to help find her, to get her safe because I'm stupid. Just like the 3 times that Alicia Bollinger has disappeared since her sister's death. I tried to help find her and get her safe. Why? Because I'm fucking stupid. When Desiree was in a trap house and she was afraid that the guy that she was staying with was gonna fucking kill her, I went and rescued her not once but twice from the same place. Why'd she go back? Because she's a fucking addict. She's got to keep her mind busy, and I couldn't keep her mind busy because I was busy watching Amy and Andrew Witcher's fucking kids. Why was I watching Amy and Andrew's kids? For empty promises. Promises that were never delivered. Promises that were never kept. And that's the thing, is that when you are a disabled American, this is what you have to go through. The government's not going to fucking help you. You need someone to actually give a shit. Actually give a shit, to actually speak up for your rights, because you, when you are called mentally ill, are no longer allowed to do so. That's why there's so many homeless people that roll through the system. Whenever there's an empty space in the jail, they go pick up Zach Boatman. It doesn't matter if he's guilty or not. They're only going to keep him for a few days. It must be fine. I mean, hell, the police department gets paid tax dollars to house him up, right? Now, Zach Boatman and his mom are both homeless. They both need help. They're also both addicted to drugs. Anyway, I replied to Hugaji Yasalo, thank you. My life is nowhere close to put back together. Every part of it was torn to shreds. My rights, the rights of others, none of it mattered. The truth still doesn't matter to most. They have Joseph to blame for her death and me to scapegoat for everything else. I was literally tortured by police. Two of them killed a man after I spoke out. I was sent out of jurisdiction to a mental hospital for speaking out, assaulted, and drugged. Tactic law enforcement has pulled on me on multiple occasions since Natalie was killed. It was an extremely common set of illegal tactics pulled on the poor and homeless, those who can't afford a civil lawyer. Waylon Lolatai should have been put in prison for assaulting an inmate in Denver. Instead, he was allowed to assault me as an officer in Boulder when he should have been in prison. He assaulted 6 more after me. 811 people liked that comment. 811. That's quite a lot. Rob Gavagan typed, hey Sean, would like to connect more. Shoot me an email at robgavaganbiz@gmail.com. Hey, why don't you guys tell you what, I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna post it up and you guys can send him some emails. Let's see, copy. Paste. Alright, this one just got on apparently. This one typed hi Sean and whoever else is present. Hi, this one. So Curtis Sawyer typed, Sean David, I'm sorry that everyone made these accusations, man. I really hope things begin to come back together as quickly as possible, and I'm glad that this hopefully will help clear your name further. People are too interested in knowing everything about random people on social media and invading their lives and trying to get truth. If they seek truth in their own lives instead of others, they'd probably be better off. I wish you the best. I'm rooting for you. Now, there's a lot of people who type this and stuff like it, things that are similar, and I'm glad you're rooting for me, but I need people to be active, to do something. Black Lives Matters right now, they're actively doing things, actively speaking out. There's also a lot of people on here who had their comments removed, which I can see that and kind of understand it. The thing is, if these people were trying to get the truth, they wouldn't have spent so much time trying to force me onto Facebook bans, preventing me from being able to communicate with my loved ones, my witnesses, or anybody who was trying to help. Basically, especially at the very beginning, I had to take whoever I could get to help, and that included some pretty crazy people. Like Dan Faber turned out to be pretty fucking nutty. Carl Rogers turned out to be pretty fucking nutty. Shannon Alvarado turned out to be pretty fucking nutty. Most of these people are infatuated with death. Just like most of the people on Rob Gavagan's channel. They're there because they're infatuated with death. Now, don't get me wrong, there's also a lot of people on here who type a lot of really mean shit. A lot of stuff that is far from the truth, but they don't care. They think if they keep on saying it over and over again, it'll eventually make it true. Problem is, I didn't stalk Natalie. She outright lied, and I was never allowed to show evidence in court. I was never allowed the rights of a disabled person. I was never allowed the rights of an American citizen. I was never allowed the rights of the Constitution. And I was denied at every point in time the right to actually make a report against those police officers or those who are threatening my life. Now, here in Chapel, Nebraska, they have done the best job of pretending out of everyone, and they've still done a shitty job of pretending. Why is that? Because never once did they go investigate any of the crimes against me. Not once did they go speak to any of the witnesses or any of my predators. Not once. I've had 2 people go in with me to speak to the police. 2. And both of them were here in Chapel, Nebraska. And both of them complained to me about how the police have handled this since day one. That's Molly Smith and Laura Nelson. Laura Nelson could come forward at any point in time, but her son is autistic and she's afraid something bad will happen to him if she speaks up. And with officers here in Chapel, Nebraska, being as crooked as they are and getting away with it, yeah, I'd say her fears are fucking legit. These people don't know everything about random people on social media. They don't. They've already made up their minds. They've already assumed. They've already played and preyed on their bias. Jansen Turner typed, "This whole thing hurts my heart for everyone involved. Sorry you have to deal with the hand you were dealt. Life can be shit sometimes. I hope you can find a way to make things better for yourself." I'm not allowed. See, that's something that from the very beginning I have tried to explain to all of these people who later wanted to treat me like shit because I was frustrated because they apparently didn't me the first 4,000 times that I said, hey, they called me mentally ill. That literally means that I have to have someone present or they can do whatever they want. That literally means that I will not get heard unless someone else fights for my rights because I am not allowed. I am not considered a human being by the American government because of the term mentally ill. You call someone mentally ill and you can rape them and get away with it. How fucked is that? If someone is raped, it's wrong, isn't it? But if someone who is bipolar is raped, you lock them up and you inject them with drugs and treat them like they're fucking crazy. That's why the mentally ill, when it comes to being raped, the mentally ill are raped more than anyone else in this country. Did you know that? You've got mentally ill who are homeless. Mentally ill. Well, these people are disabled, and their disabilities are preyed on. Even police officers in these jurisdictions that I spoke out about have been busted raping disabled people. Straight up busted raping a woman on his fucking dash cam of his vehicle. What'd he get? Oh yeah, a slap on the wrist. Officer Waylon Lolatai didn't even get that. Out of all the people that Waylon Lolatai assaulted, the only 3 that the news in Colorado cared about were the 3 minorities. Meanwhile, all 3 of those minorities were not targeted for being minorities. They were targeted for homelessness, for videotaping homelessness, and how the cops treat the homeless, and of course, for looking homeless. Now, what do the other 4 victims have in common? They're all homeless, all of them. By the way, Waylon Lolatai is black. Does that make it okay for him to do these things? See, just because it's not racist doesn't mean it's not prejudice. And your prejudice against the homeless is fucking disgusting. The United States prejudice towards the homeless is 1,000 times worse than the racism. Most of the black folks I know under the age of 30 can't even tell you a time that they were assaulted for the color of their skin, because they haven't been. Many of the older folks that I know that are black, they can tell you about some of them up to 5 or 6 times that they were assaulted for the color of their skin. I grew up in the system. Most I was locked up with were minorities. I got my ass beat a lot for the color of my skin. But a lot of people type stuff like that. They type stuff like, here's Shubi Sharon Raghavan typed, has your life gotten back to any sort of sense of normalcy, or are people still blaming you for a crime you didn't commit? And do you have anyone to talk to? Well, Shubi Sharon, I can't talk to you because you commented on Rob Gavagan's site and he's got me blocked. I can hit the like button though, so I just liked your comment. I'd love to reply to you, and I'm sorry that I'm not able to. Genghis Dog typed, Sean David, I hope you're doing better. And a lot of people type that. I'm not doing better. I'm in a worse position than I was 4 years ago. I'm in a worse position than I was even 3 years ago. I've been railroaded from one end of the country to the other. I've had to depend on drug addicts and alcoholics and people with a history of abusing me because the police didn't want to do their job. Public pretenders get paid whether or not they do their jobs. They don't have to do their jobs. They get paid either way. Larry Ismail typed, well, you aren't what you seemed. YK, they say, don't judge a book by its cover. I now firmly believe that you're innocent. Medea, Nick's Gray type. Sean David, I am sorry, so sorry you went through so much pain and hurt. My heart goes out to you. I know things are still not great for you. Truly hope things get better and that you have the help and support you need. Please take great care of yourself. I'm trying, but the support that I need is for people to speak out. The support that I need is help in person, learning how to do these things that I've been trying for the last 3 years to learn how to do. A lot of people keep telling me to do things that I don't know how to do, but I still try. Whereas nearly everybody who told me that they'd do something, they never made the fucking effort to even try. They just automatically said, no, I can't. No, I can't. No, I can't. Someone named Jess Rabbit apparently is no longer on here. Their comments aren't on here. A lot of the really, really super rude ones are gone. Jess Rabbit typed, or anemic leader typed Jess Rabbit. The guy has Asperger's. If he was never in any therapy for social cues or help with thought patterns, then he was set up for failure. People with this disorder sometimes become fixed or obsessed with people, things, or words. He didn't need to be treated like a criminal, but a person who needed help. They both needed help, but neither got it. Read more. It's not always so black and white. Just because you can think logically doesn't mean mental illness doesn't exist. Mental illness has no logic. Now, this is a whole bunch of stuff from Anemic Leader. I understand this person is trying to defend me, but this person is also completely wrong. First of all, it's not my thought patterns that are the problem, it's yours. You don't accept people that are different, and if people are more intelligent than you, then you start to hate them immediately because you see them as a challenger. Let's see. People with this disorder sometimes become fixed or obsessed with people, things, or words. Well, the whole obsessed thing, yeah, actually, it's an attachment thing. See, people who are autistic generally attach themselves to people who accept them, which is very rare. Most people with Asperger's, they will attach themselves to, well, one of their parents or a sibling or a loved one of that sort. People who are autistic in general do that. It's your safety network. Those are the people who protect you because you're not allowed to protect yourself. You're not allowed to defend yourself. Now, we've all seen these things on YouTube about autistic kids that are, well, severely low functioning autistic people and how they act. And the police preyed on that when they were trying to pretend. So they get the judges to basically roll over and do whatever they wanted. They tried to pretend like I was that type of autistic person. Like I just go off and assault people for no fucking reason and try to yank their arms out of socket and shit like that. Fuck no, that's what the police do. And then it says, just because you can think logically doesn't mean mental illness does not exist. Well, first of all, Jess Rabbit doesn't think logically. And then this last part, mental illness has logic. That's why we need to stop using the term mentally ill. It is too broad a term, and most people just assume schizophrenic when you say mentally ill. Or they think of Ted Kaczynski, or they think of Jeffrey Dahmer, or Jack the Ripper. This is what people think of when you say mental illness. And second of all, has no logic. I'm pretty logical. I am a pretty logical individual. No matter how much you want to call me mentally ill, the fact is that Asperger's is a superior mind, not an inferior one. It is an analytical mind that combines the best part of emotion and critical thought. Most of y'all want to pretend that you don't make decisions based on your emotions. That makes all of you liars. Um, Production Sky T typed, I do hope you are somehow feeling better today, man. Quick Pray typed, I hope you're doing well, Sean. Stay safe. Faye Winter typed, hey, just want to say sorry that you were harassed. That is so unfair, and I cannot imagine what that would do to one's mental health, especially with pre existing mental health challenges. Wishing you all the best moving forward. Lale typed, Sean David, I'm curious. Did she try to frame you for her murder? I saw the text to her BF where she says if she ever goes missing or killed, that he should inform police that you did it. Did you even ever stalk her, or was she just a very mixed up and confused young lady? Hope things get better for you soon. No, I didn't stalk her. Matter of fact, I got called to stalk her for doing what she wanted. Did I harass her? Oh, yeah. I definitely harassed her. I wanted to see my loved ones, and I couldn't without being abused. Now, it wasn't just the physical assaults and threats that I had to deal with. It's also the fact that if I get assaulted, I'm the one who's going to get locked up. I'm the one they're going to say he's homeless, he's mentally ill, and magically, the other person automatically wins 100% of the time just by doing that. Someone can steal all of my things from me and call me mentally ill, and magically, it's like they never stole my things. Meanwhile, they called me mentally ill because they didn't want to give my things back, in most cases, because they sold it for meth. Meanwhile, people say, well, you just need to move away from all those meth heads. Shit, you can't go anywhere in the United States without running into meth heads. Are you fucking kidding me? This one's called If I Had Enough Coffee, I Would Rule the World. Typed, I never heard about this case, but I'm glad they found the right person. It's how many innocent people are actually in prison as we speak, while murderers and rapists walk among us. I hope you got some proper help with mental health. It's a struggle that never ends. No, my mental health wasn't a struggle for a lot of years. When I was homeless in Boulder, my mental health was fucking great. I was surrounded by, well, for the most part, positive people. And if they weren't positive, I was pretty good about making the situation positive. But then again, there are just certain things the girls are taught to do and say so that they won't get in any trouble when they do something wrong. They don't care that it destroys a man's life, and women don't have to go through these things. On some small level, yes, but really, no. There are parts of my story that no matter how many times I explain it, I'm not the woman who understands it because women simply do not have to go through this. That's not to say women are not accused of crimes they didn't commit, but the thing is that a guy can't use the whole stalker thing the way that a woman does. A man has to provide overwhelming proof, and even that sometimes isn't enough because they won't allow it in court. But a woman can claim that she feels like she's afraid, and that's good enough. Evidence don't mean shit, but how a pretty girl feels does. Meanwhile, how many times did I assault Natalie? None. How many times did her dad assault her? A lot. How many times did Tim Beeson assault her? A lot. And who was it that was up and threatening my life? Tim motherfucking Beeson. Now, what is it about that man that really fucking rubs me the wrong way? Well, for starters, he's a rapist. All right, let's get to the next comment. Friday typed, wow, she seemed disturbed. Jackie Bell typed at Just Rabbit, did you even listen to the video? Your explanation is in there. Leave the guy alone. He's had enough of people prodding him with questions. JS typed, the world is a crazy place, buddy. The media is the most evil thing that affects everybody's life. Obviously, you are one of the media targets. Just know you are not alone. I don't know you or the case well, but the truth shines through. Just know the people who matter know who you are. The rest are brainwashed media junkies. X quits Solo typed, as a victim of stalking myself, I don't find it right, but at the same time, that level of obsession and anxiety has got to be exhausting, especially who did want her found. Stay safe. And that's the thing, is that people keep talking about obsession, obsession, obsession. If you want to see your kids or you want to see your mom and you can't, is that obsession? Or is that you missing your loved ones? See, when it came to Natalie, it didn't matter if I ever saw Natalie again. What mattered is that I couldn't see any of the ones because she fucking slandered my name. Did Natalie call me a rapist? Nope. Did she accuse me of being a child molester? Nope. But that's what I was assaulted for over a year before Natalie was killed, as if I was some sort of rapist or fucking murderer or fucking child molester. And then, as it all comes out in the wash, turns out I'm not a child molester. I'm not a murderer. I am not a stalker. Harasser? For goddamn sure I did. And I won't pretend that I didn't. Josh Santistevan typed, holy shit. Initially, I thought you did it. Guess people need to take everything in consideration before making accusations. Exactly. When you go running around making false accusations and innocent people are getting injured, being hurt, being assaulted, something needs to be done. But when you're going to turn a blind eye because somebody called that person mentally ill, so now magically it makes it okay. That is so fucked. Someone named Faye Winter type Kitty Graveyard, so true. I don't know who Kitty Graveyard is, but they're removed from here as well. I just don't care anymore typed, I'm sorry you had to go through this, Sean. I'm glad you're doing as best you can now. Angel Fawn typed, hearing and seeing the way you were treated broke my heart. I'm sorry, and I hope things get better for you. They won't get better for me, not unless people speak up and fight for my rights. Fight for the rights of the disabled. And I'm not talking about fighting for our rights as in getting us special rights. There are already special rights for disabled people. There are special rights that are on paper to prevent the exact situation that I have gone through from happening. A lot of them. There are special rights for disabled people so that they can defend themselves against this exact situation. But with cops turning off their body cameras, playing on bias and assuming your guilt and getting off on it. I mean, so many officers laughed and fucked mild and thought it was hilarious. When Officer McRae, when I tried to turn her in, yeah, she wanted to get revenge on me, and her position of power allowed her to do that. She put me on suicide watch. And then her and her fellow officers laughed and made jokes the whole way to the fucking special cell where they steal all of your fucking clothes, and there's a fucking hole in the wall or a hole in the floor to shit in. Literally, that is your fucking toilet. When you try to turn in best officers, police officers across the board victimize you. The charges against me for the assault by Waylon Lolatai. I was assaulted And I was the one charged with assault. And then they dropped the charges, but assault against a police officer is still on my arrest record. So every officer who runs my name sees that and treat me accordingly. There's a lot of evidence right here on this YouTube. There's also a lot more on my fucking Facebook. A lot of the problem is me being sober, and most of the people that I know, most of the people who are accepting of me are addicts. Why is that? Because they're used to being treated the way that we are treated. By we, I'm not talking about white people. I'm talking about the disabled. Homeless people got it worse than all y'all. All of you. Unless you're a child in the system, in which case you are probably within 2 years of becoming 18. You're very likely to have a criminal record for being homeless. When you are in foster care and you age out, you are automatically homeless without ID, without a job, without a driver's license, and in many cases, without any knowledge of even how to drive a fucking car. When most of your experience with a vehicle is sitting in the back of a white state van, yeah, you don't see how the vehicles run. You see the back of the driver's head and you see the back of the seat in front of you. Rob Gavagan, he blocked me, so I respond to any of these people. I can't tell them thank you. Can't nothing. Timmering type, holy shit. Oh my god, hi. Hey, I'm really sorry for what happened to you. Please stay strong. Andy Lee typed, Sean David, hope you're doing a lot better. I know the world, especially the internet, can be a fucked up place. But keep your chin up, bro, and all the best for the future. Now that right there, the internet can be a fucked up place. It wasn't people on the internet that were the major issue. It was people in real life with the same mentality as these asshats on the internet. People in real life harming me, harassing me, stalking me, like Chris Perth. What he did was literally stalking. And he gets away with it because the Chapel Police Department was too busy trying to cover up their own crimes to actually do anything about any of the crimes committed against me. Fuck the police. I typed Andy Lay, I'm trying, but I'm not doing better. And then it says, we weren't able to add your reply. Please try again. I'll click the reply button again. Nope, still says we weren't able to add your reply. Please try again. Castle Rock Cop typed, I didn't think he was guilty because the thumbnail. Heather Mason typed, hey man, I just wanted you to know that I believe you just wanted Natalie to get help and to be okay. And I'm sorry the internet hate mob decided to use you as a scapegoat. They just do it because it's easier to believe things are simple when they rarely are. And it says read more. Let's see what else it says. I know things are rough, but take care of yourself, all right? I'm not able to take care of myself. That's the point. I'm not able to take care of my physical needs. I'm not able to take care of my emotional needs. People who have family all the time with them, and they have that security of having those people and that familiarity. I haven't had that since I hurt my back. That familiarity no longer existed after I hurt my back. And I didn't matter to anybody anymore after I hurt my back. It was just lip service. These people could have come forward in court. They could have gone in with me and made a statement with me. With me. Not going off on their own to do it and then saying, oh, Sean, I tried and they wouldn't let me. Well, of course not. You went in by yourself, same as I did. That's how it works when you have to go in by yourself. And then they use that as their excuse to do the things that they did. If Miss Peaches had actually bothered to find out what was going on instead of what everybody did, which is over me and tell me how to think and feel, tell me that they're going to help me, and then I end up listening to them talking about their problems. Like, holy fuck, why did you offer to help me if all you're going to do is talk over me? Why did you offer to help me if you're not even going to listen to what's going on? You're just going to be busy telling me what to do, what to think, what to feel, what to spend money on that I don't have the money to spend on. Well, Sean, why don't you just do this? Why don't you just do that? With what? My good fucking. Sorry, I'm not a fucking Bollinger. I'm not Natalie Bollinger. I'm not Alicia Bollinger. I don't get to shake my ass, shake my tits, and have people give me whatever the fuck I want. It don't work that way. Meanwhile, those of you who got to see the messages between myself and Tim Beeson before Natalie was killed, you get to see that, yeah, I was actually having to deal with this well before Natalie was fucking killed. Now, before Tim Beeson, connect any of these pieces of shit directly to Natalie, with the exception of Maddie Boa. All of the people who are threatening me and harassing me and assaulting me in Boulder, Colorado, and over the internet before Natalie was killed, pretty much all of them were connected to Maddie Boa. Tim Beeson was the first actual proof that I had that Natalie Bollinger was actually involved in this shit. Now, also, those of you who got to see the messages between myself and Natalie Bollinger in the 3 weeks before she died, and seen what Tim Beeson was typing with her for 3 weeks before she died, you realize that she's telling him a completely different fucking story than she's telling me. Instead of trying to come properly, come correct, and speak like human beings, they went out of their way to do every sly fucking backwater trick that they could use to get away with the fact that they destroyed my life with no goddamn remorse. And we teach women in the United States to be this way. We teach women that they are not responsible for their own actions. We teach women the thing that happens in her life is a man's fault. And that it is okay for a woman to do these things to an innocent man because she is embarrassed. Derek Stone typed, is this Rob's new ARG? Fuck all you bitches. Typed, kisses for your brain cells, sir. No one should feed off your mental state. Stay strong. Ash Cat the dude typed, Rob, I don't know if I can ever thank you and the people that work with you enough. Truth is often so hard to come by. And meanwhile, Rob again really didn't tell the truth in this. He didn't bother. He didn't try. They made no effort. They weren't interested in both sides. They were interested in getting the story out. No matter how many things they get wrong, you got to get the story out so you can get the subscribers, so you can get the money. And that's what this is about. Mike Gavagan's got 3 million subscribers. That's how infatuated the American people are with death. And these aren't just Americans. Let's see. Truth is often so hard to come by, and it is often politically charged, no truth at all. The way that you delivered the story today covered all sides without taking any bullshit. It did. I hope that Sean is able to live his best life. Thank you. I hope you are all well. Have a wonderful night. Omaroka typed, I just learned about this story and it broke my heart. Stay safe, Sean. You deserve peace. Flouncy Mom typed, I'm so sorry you went through this, Sean. I wish there had been more supports for you growing up as someone with Asperger's. You You needed help, guidance in working through your feelings and how to get your social needs met in appropriate ways. See, here's the thing that all of these people are missing out on is that I had all of that. These people are assuming that I am mentally fucking retarded because I have Asperger's. No, this right here isn't from Asperger's. It is from PTSD. It is from years and years and years of abuse and being told that I can't be a victim because I have a penis. Being told that I can't be a victim because I'm not the right goddamn color. Being told that the things that happen to me, it's magically okay to do those things to me because of the term mentally ill. But I'm not allowed to do those things back. It's only illegal if I do it. It's only wrong if I do it. And if you look back at all the fucking bullshit that I've gone through, you'll realize at no point in time that I actually do it. Every single time I did it back. Big fucking difference. If somebody comes at you with a baseball bat is trying to take your fucking head off with it, and you bust their fucking head open, you are not the bad guy for hitting them back. And yes, I understand that they got a weapon and you don't. And that does make a big fucking difference in a lot of people's minds. But in a lot of people's minds, it doesn't. Oh, it's a homeless person? They deserve to have their brain bashed in with a fucking baseball bat because they're all lazy, right? They're all addicts, right? Meanwhile, there's a higher percentage of addicts in houses than there is on the streets. Imagine that. I had a lot of friends. I had a very good social outlook. I had a positive outlook on life. But that didn't matter, did it? No. When I hurt my back, my life went to hell. And after that, anybody could victimize me. There was nothing I could do. When people decide that they're going to fucking assault me, I have to just take it. Meanwhile, police officers are allowed to break your arm or at least make an honest goddamn effort of it so they can get a reaction to you so they can pretend like you were resisting arrest. Bitch, you were trying to break my fucking wrist. Anyway, you need help and guidance in working through your feelings and how to get your social needs met in appropriate ways. No, the fuck I don't. I had appropriate social interaction. I had that. That's something I'm going to get here in Chapel, Nebraska. These people in this town are so fucking goddamn spoiled. Most of them live on farms that they inherited from mommy and daddy. Meanwhile, they've got farm hands who have worked on their farms longer than they have been alive. They didn't get any part of that property. And those people work harder than these lazy ass little fuckers every day of the goddamn week. And these people who get these free fucking inheritances and all this free fucking shit, they're like, no, I had to work for it. You know, I worked for my dad for the last 18 years. Dude, you turned 18, all right? You did not work for your dad for the last 18 fucking years. Don't fucking bullshit me. And second of all, I'm aware of your work ethic. I went to fucking school with your dumb ass. Like, holy shit. While your farmhand was busy doing the work on the farm, working 12-hour fucking days, just so that they could stay on the property in the old farmhouse that your family threw away because it was falling apart. And this dude lived there for 20 fucking years. 20 fucking years taking care of your bitch ass. As far as appropriate fucking social interaction, I have no problems with appropriate social interaction. The problem is I'm not allowed social interaction. I'm not allowed that. I'm not human enough to your society, but I owe your society, and I keep getting told nobody owes me anything. And then I'm told over and over and over and over how much I owe, the soldiers who aren't doing a goddamn thing, how much I owe the government who isn't doing a goddamn thing, how much I owe the police who fucking victimize me, how much I owe just because I fucking exist, just because I was fucking born. It also says, I believe that you really cared about Natalie and were worried for her. Of course I was. Here's a fucking heroin addict who has been repeatedly raped by so many people in her life. Yeah, I was the one good person in her life, and she told me that. Anyway, it says, I think you were trying to make sure she didn't do admitting to hurt herself. That was at her request when I went to Virginia. After Virginia, no, I wasn't trying to keep her from hurting herself. I was trying to get her to get the people who were actually physically assaulting me, actually threatening my life, to stop. After I left Virginia, me and Natalie were done. We were done. When I was in Virginia, me and my dad were done. Me and Candace Bondurant were done. Me and Miss Jerry were done, and her family, and Lana and Amanda Ingline were done. Of course, that's because I stuck up for Colin Kaepernick when Miss Jerry's son decided to say that a soldier should punch Kaepernick in the throat because he doesn't stand for the national anthem. Fuck the national anthem. It don't mean shit. All right, I just clicked back. That one, this one, type Sean. I've copied the email. What should I say? Message if you want, I'll email. You're right, Sean. Shocking how people with mental health issues get treated. You bring up some dark points. Jess Rabbit, no. I'm gonna email address down here for you. DOGGEDROMAN shift at gmail.com. Doggedroman at gmail.com. Let me see. Unfortunately, your desperation to keep her safe just looked like desperation and frightened her a bit. No. My desperation at that point was not to keep her safe. My desperation was to get to see my loved ones and not be fucking victimized. She was pretending that she was being victimized. I was actually being victimized because some druggie wanted to pretend. I'm sorry, druggies. Natalie Bollinger, Elise Bollinger, Maddie Boa. That's how it started. It only got worse from there. It also says the important thing now is that you were able to move on. No, I don't get to move on. That's the point. Everybody types move on like you're actually allowed to fucking do that. No, you're not allowed to fucking move on. That's the point. No matter how many times you people type that, it doesn't make it a fucking possibility. When you are still being victimized, move on doesn't fucking work. When you've moved over 30 times in a 3-year period. Obviously, moving on doesn't fucking work. So although you intend well, completely fucking wrong. Your assumptions are completely fucking wrong. Even people who are trying to defend me are like, oh, well, you shouldn't have done this and you shouldn't have done that. Motherfucker, you don't know shit about the situation. Take a look. Take a look. And then Flouncy Mom typed, Natalie is in heaven now. Oh, no. According to the Bible, she's in hell. Part of that comes down to repenting. Yeah, when you repent right before you die, that's not repenting. That's fear of hell. Big difference. Repenting means that you felt bad for the wrongs that you did, and you did something to remedy them. Alicia Bollinger, if she can survive until she's 100 years old, and right before she dies, she gets down on her hands and knees and says, Dear Lord, I'm sorry for what I did to Sean Schwartz. I shouldn't have allowed him. I should have told the truth about him. I shouldn't have allowed those people to harm him. And I'm sorry. I was on a lot of drugs at the time. Yeah, no. By that point, she has already ignored the hell that I have had to live over her lies for years. And now, because she's afraid of going to hell, she's finally going to admit it. Yes, very Christian of you. That's Christianity that I have come to know. I was raised Christian, and I got to tell you, it wasn't the Bible that pulled me away from Christianity. It was Christians. Most Christians are shit, straight up. Let's see. Natalie is in heaven now, so she is able to see the truth about all of it. She understands now you were just a concerned friend, not a stalker who wanted to harm her. She knew I wasn't a stalker from the beginning. She knew that the things that they were trying to pretend that I stalked them, she knew already. Her and her sister both knew that these were things that they asked me to do. But the police and the courts did everything in their power to prevent me from showing evidence, prevent me from facing my accusers. Everything in their power, including outright lying on multiple occasions, destroying evidence, stealing evidence, omitting evidence, and lying repeatedly on police reports. But it's fine, because you can call me mentally ill. She forgives you, I'm sure of that, and she didn't want to be stopped. She was hurting and looking for a way to stop the pain. Unfortunately, she picked a permanent solution to a temporary problem. I will pray for both of you. No, it is not a permanent solution to a temporary problem. It is an end to a permanent problem. See, here's the thing is that, yeah, Natalie was a female, but she was also addicted to heroin and methamphetamines. I want the pain to stop too. I begged someone to shoot me in the head for an entire year before Natalie only had to ask once and she got that help. With me, I had to ask people over and over and over again, why aren't you keeping your word? It's been 6 months. You said that you would help me. I still have to go through this. I can't see my loved ones. You promised to help me, and you didn't. And then those people treat me like I'm a bad person. A lot of other people that chose to stick up for me were victimized by the public and by the police, people in this very town. And then, instead of going to try to speak up about these things, instead, they treat me like I'm a bad person because other people chose to victimize them. They treated me like it was my fault that terrible people were threatening their lives and threatening their families. Like it was my fault, my decision for these people to do these evil things. Let's see. And as far as a temporary problem, no. Once you've been tagged with mentally ill, that problem is lifelong. Natalie stood zero chance at a decent life, with the exception of the fact that she was pretty, so she could manipulate men. She didn't have much else going for her. She wasn't very intelligent. She was very kind, but she wasn't very intelligent. Neither is her sister. But I didn't like them of their intelligence. It's because after I hurt my back, I didn't matter to anyone except for the police, and they only cared about me because they wanted someone to pick on, that they get away with picking on, not get in trouble for picking on. See, the border police try to avoid situations like what happened with Zaid Atkinson because they got enough problems. They don't want that kind of attention. Native and free type Sean, I wish you nothing but the best. People can be so cruel, and my severe depression is proof of that. Scary Poppins type at Lale, I was thinking the same thing. If she, in fact, did hire someone to kill her, was she attempting to frame Sean? Carly Robinson type, just wanted to say I'm so sorry for everything you went through. I hope you are doing better now. Misfortune typed, it said that in one of her posts she got a restraining order on you, Sean. Is that true, or did Natalie make that up? That's not true. It was a protection order. And she was able to get that because I didn't have help. I was supposed to have help from a guy named, hold on a second, I'm trying to remember his name. He's through Colorado Coalition. Jeff Ritter was supposed to be helping me to get an attorney before Natalie died so that I could do something about Ken and Leah taking advantage of my disabilities and stealing my disability money, as well as going after Natalie and her druggy friends. Now, mind you, when Natalie disappeared, I thought she was still in Virginia. How fucked up is that? But the fact is, as someone who has been tagged as mental, I already knew that I need someone to fight for my rights, or these people are going to continue to do this to me for the rest of my life. Y'all don't understand what that's like. Now, there's a big fucking difference between being a registered fucking child molester who fucking actually went out and molested fucking children and somebody who is being victimized because of drug addicts. There is a big fucking difference. And how many of you understand the difference? That dude Collins typed, the incessant rambling that Rob went on and on about how everything is not as it seems and blah, 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 blah. Insert no less than 7 over the top dramatic analogies at the beginning for 3 solid minutes made you know immediately that the guy didn't do it. Rob, I love your fucking channel, but it seems like you're trying too hard now. Instead of 2 really cool liners that catch your attention, it's almost like you think Every sentence has to be equally as or more dramatic as you made the last one. You're doing too much on your new stuff, dude. Your voice is attention drawing and gripping enough on its own to keep the viewer slash listener. Be confident in that. You don't need to do more. Simplicity. Short in your voice. With 3 to 5 of the dramatic analogy sentences is plenty good. You're watering down your best shit by beating ahead with it. Stacey Ray type, hi Sean. I'm so sorry to hear that so many people were quick to assume the absolute worst about you on Facebook. It's not just on Facebook. See, all these people that they live on the internet, obviously. It doesn't register to them that I have to deal with people in real life with this mentality. Not just on the internet, real life. You can see all of the hatred on the internet. Now, obviously, you can't pretend that that hatred doesn't exist. The courts did, the cops did, and they had a lot of help doing it. Because at the very beginning, they went out of their way to try to peg me as the bad guy. Why? Because I spoke out about police for years and years before this. Everything that happened to me, I spoke out about before it happened to me. The things that were done to kill Tibor Hatay and Elijah McClain, I spoke out about before Natalie was killed. Elijah McClain was killed in 2019. Tibor Hatay was killed in 2018. Natalie was killed in 2017. And I've been speaking out for how long? A lot longer than that. Hey, Sean, I'm so sorry to hear that so many people were quick to assume the absolutely worst about you on Facebook. I myself suffer from really bad anxiety and often experience it in connection with social media. I'm glad your name was cleared. All the best to you. Mine isn't in connection with social media. Mine is in connection with not being able to see my loved ones in real life. I speak out on social media because it's the only thing that I know how to use. I sort of know how to use YouTube. Sort of. As far as Facebook goes, I'm glad that I know how to use that. Matter of fact, I can, through a lot of this, tell when it is that Facebook changed their rules and their algorithms about certain things. Like when Natalie died, people wanted to destroy evidence. So in order to destroy evidence, them and their friends got together on these supposedly Natalie Bollinger justice groups that are actually just Sean Schwartz hate groups, and they coordinated to call every piece of evidence spam so they could make it go away. And they were successful with at least 30 pieces of evidence. But there's still a lot more evidence. Also, what those people did was a fact because they destroyed evidence. But it's fine, right? Because I don't have family, because you guys want to pretend after all of this time, you still want to pretend that I will be allowed to do any of these things. Are you out of your fucking mind? At this point, it doesn't matter what your intentions are, how good they are. You're not listening without someone in my corner to actually give a shit about my rights. It doesn't matter. By the way, it's raining outside and the sun will be up in about 40 minutes. And yes, I just rolled a cigarette out of a bunch of cigarette butts. Anyway, Stacey Ray also typed, I myself suffer from really bad anxiety and often experience it in connection with social media. I'm glad your name was cleared. All the best to you. My name wasn't cleared. See, the thing is that I was being assaulted before Natalie was killed was for stalking, which I didn't do, raping, which I didn't do, child molesting, which I didn't fucking do. I mean, seriously. Natalie said I stalked her. She didn't realize that that one little lie would turn into such a twisted fucking thing. It didn't even occur to her that her telling that lie in Virginia would result in people actually physically harming me in Colorado and threatening my life in Chapel, fucking Nebraska. My name wasn't cleared. Matter of fact, the police and the courts did everything in their power to try to make me out to be some sort of terrible person. Literally forced me to break the law in the tiny, minuscule hope that it might make a difference, because all of these people who promised to help me, promised to write these reports, promised to go in with me to speak to these police for my own safety, not a goddamn one of them ever actually kept their fucking word. Did the police ever go talk to Chris Kurth? No, they didn't. Did the police ever go talk to Robbie Warnick? No, they didn't. Did they ever go talk to Derek Jepson? No, they didn't. Did they ever go talk to Jace Jepson? No, they. But Jason's scared now. He just had a kid yesterday, by the way. Why does he have a kid? Well, because he had unprotected sex. I know y'all want to say congratulations, congratulations. But really, when it comes down to it, he was a dumbass. His girlfriend ain't even a nice person. But he thinks she's cute, so that's what matters. It doesn't matter if she treats him like shit. It matters if she's a fucking bitch to his friends. What matters is that she's pretty and she fucking puts out. Holy fuck. Glitter Queen of Spades type, oh my god, this is atrocious. I am so sorry you suffered so much. I still suffer. Can't you get a lawyer and sue them all? No, I can't. They did everything in their power to prevent me from being able to do that. I didn't even have the resources to fucking feed myself. I didn't have the resources to travel. But I had to do those things anyway. In order to get a lawyer to listen to you, you need someone to go in with you. The lawyers told me, hey, if these people write those reports, then we can do something. And Tabby promised she'd write that report, and she never did. Miss Peaches promised she'd write that report, and she never did. And then after they make all of those excuses, they want to treat me like shit because I'm still getting victimized because they didn't keep their word. It's not my fault that the cops chose to break the law repeatedly. It's not my fault that people would rather assume I'm a fucking retard than listen to what I'm telling you. See, it's that mentality right there that police have as well, and judges and public pretenders, that I have to deal with. It's not just from you guys. No point in time were my rights as a human being ever even acknowledged. Well, it's acknowledged by these folks here. It's acknowledged how fucked up it was. It's acknowledged that the cops should have fucking done something. Now, this lady typed something to me here that doesn't do any good. It says, sending prayers, so sorry for your loss and all you have endured suffering, Jesus prayers. Prayers don't do any good. Between praying for my friends not to freeze to death and passing out blankets, you know what I noticed? Blankets work a lot fucking better for not freezing to death than praying. Do something. Praying doesn't do anything. Praying is so not useful. It's not. Praying doesn't get the work done. Praying does not teach me to do the things that I need to be able to do in order to take these people to court. Meanwhile, there's this little thing called the statute of limitations, which is part of the reason that those officers spent so much time and dragged that out for so long. It's because those officers were covering for the wrongdoing of not only those other officers, but also themselves at that point because they were committing felonies. Abuse against a disabled person in the United States is a felony, whether you're a cop or not. But then again, the cops aren't going to investigate themselves. All of the things that were done in Zaid Atkinson's case, all of them are things that the police told me they weren't allowed to do. Magically, they can do them for Zaid Atkinson. All of the things that happened with the Natalie Bollinger situation that the police told me that they couldn't do, they did for the Bollinger family. Meanwhile, not one of these peoples who claimed to love me ever bothered to sit down with me and look at evidence. Not one. They were too busy telling me how to think, how to feel, or getting fucked up on drugs or alcohol, or having me jump through fucking fruitless hoops. Stacey Ray typed to MX, she wasn't a kid, you fool. MX was this guy. By the way, I got a lot of these people who got kicked off of here were kicked off for bullying me. But you know what? I defended myself against these people, which might be the reason that I was blocked. MX kept trying to pretend that Natalie was some little 13-year-old girl that I was molesting. Like, holy fuck, dude. We didn't even hang out until she was 18, asshole. This person's name is Proud to be White. Type Sean David, if you truly are a man from the video, I'm sorry what you had to deal with. Between the media vultures, the people accusing you, and being blamed for the actions of that Mexican asshole, I can imagine what that was like. Good luck, my friend. Well, we're not friends, Proud to be White. Joseph Michael Lopez was not Mexican. He was born in the United States, asshole. So why don't you take your proud to be white bullshit and take your racist ass somewhere else? We're not friends. And then he typed another thing, and he edited it. It says, Sean David, if you truly are the man from the video, you guys can hear the rain, right? If you truly are the man from the video, I'm sorry what you had to deal with. Between the media vultures, the people accusing you, and being blamed for the actions of that Mexican asshole, I can't imagine what that was like. Good luck, my friend. Get easy, brother. I know you were trying to do the right thing, and hopefully others realize that by now. You know, despite the fact that this guy is sort of defending me and sort of on my side, it's still racism, and I'm not okay with it, no matter what color you are. Haley Enlow type, I'm so sorry that you lost a friend, and I'm sorry that people treated you so horribly. Still treat me so horribly. CIN, man, stay strong for everything you went through. Or stay strong, sorry for everything you went through. I'm still going through it. The last pistolero type, it may be 2020, but people still judge you by the way you look. If this guy looked like Ted Bundy, no one would look his way. He got 18 likes for that one. Sean David, it sickens me that the justice system in this world is so corrupt. Innocent people get screwed over every day. while guilty, either go unpunished or receive a smack on the wrist. Then it says read more. That's from Zero Jin Kui. Sorry you had to be a victim of that system. So am I. This guy's name is Mikey FNA. He typed, "Oh wow, this is incredible. It's true, humans are quick to lynch one another with no outright facts, and it's a horrible flaw we carry. In fact, I was actually just reading a story yesterday about the classic Twilight Zone episode, Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. If you're not familiar, I'd suggest checking it out. I fully agree with you. I hate Facebook too, more like Facebook as well as people in general. And it's rare that I use it anymore. I'm happy to know you were finally cleared in that mess, but I wasn't. I actually have warrants in Colorado and possibly several other states over the aftermath of that situation. And the fact that without police help, without family, I had to go to addicts for help. And those addicts, one by one, screwed me over. Amy Spencer, or Amy Kingery, Brianna Ingersoll, these people I've known for over 20 years. Shannon Alvarado, she hopped on board after Natalie was killed. Of the people in my life, I'm much the only one who is sober. What a messed up individual she was. Sad, really. And by the way, great choice using a pic of you with a cat. No evil person would be capable of doing so, in my opinion. You stay safe, sir. Well, it's not a picture of me with a cat. That's actually a baby goat. And I know a lot of Christians who hate me because their religion is so fucked up and I speak out. We're going to go, oh, that's a goat. He must be a Satan worshiper. Yeah, fuck it. Mikey FNA typed to anemic leader. Thank you. Bud Stricker typed to Stacey Ray. Kid or not, I agree with MX and gave them a thumbs up. If that creep was following me or mine, I'd wang him with a shovel. I understand he's got Asperger's now, but I hope he learned something about obsessing. See, now this guy right here. Now, you guys didn't get to read or see any of the hatred from MX. That dude's a fucking doucher. There's about 30 of them on here, and most of them are gone now, which is nice. But here's the thing. First of all, the dude starts off calling me a creep, and then following me or mine. Well, I didn't follow Natalie. I wasn't following Natalie. I wasn't the other. Matter of fact, I went to Colorado to get the fuck away from her. And then people wanted to accuse me of stalking her to Colorado. Like, no! I left Virginia to go to Colorado to be with my loved ones, to get the fuck away from Natalie. She was still in Virginia, which means that she followed me to Colorado. Anyway, and then it says he'd wang me with a shovel. So here's this dude talking about getting violent. Meanwhile, this guy only wants to get violent with me and is only making these excuses because only one side was allowed to be shown. And even this guy, Rob Gavagan, didn't show my side. He hasn't made any effort to show my side. He let me know that he was interested in doing a second one with my side, but he hasn't gotten back to me and has blocked me from page. What a fucking douche nozzle. Anyway, it also says, I understand he's got Asperger's now, but I hope he learned something about obsessing. With all due respect, this right here, it always goes back to this mentality right here. Because she is a pretty girl, I must have been obsessing over not having sex with a pretty girl. With all due respect, those of you who got to read the messages between Natalie and I, She admitted on multiple occasions that she used to think she was in love with me. And you also get to see through our conversations that she kind of goes back and forth over whether or not she still feels that way. And you also get to see that at every point in time, I sidestep that entirely because I'm not fucking interested. But of course, if you've got a whole bunch of fucking webwits who get to speak, but the people involved don't get to, well, we're in a different fucking world now, aren't we? Now it doesn't matter what evidence there is. It doesn't matter what the truth is. It only matters what the public thinks. By the way, fuck this goddamn country. Now, this one is only an hour and 46 minutes long, and I just came back to this. Net Gamer Purple Heart typed, how is Rob Gavagan profiting on victims? He did not say you are the criminal because you are not the bad one. Well, with all due respect, Net Game R, he didn't bother to find out if anything that he was saying was true or not. He didn't care. He's an entertainer. The other thing is that the first 16 minutes of that video, he's basically bashing my name. He's repeating the same shit that all of these other people fucking regurgitated. None of them have bothered with finding the truth is or actually showing the truth. Why is that? Also, Net Game R Purple Heart type, you deserve better. People are really idiots. They are. But at the same time, it doesn't matter if they're idiots or not. What matters is that without someone speaking up for me, people are allowed to do whatever they want to me. And this will continue for the rest of my life. I can't go to the police here. They're involved in that fucking cover-up too. When I dealt with fucking Chris Kurth out there at From Farm, something I wanted to fucking deal with. That guy should have been away from me. He should have been warned to stay the fuck away from me. After threatening me the first time, those cops should have done something. But the police have done everything in their power not to investigate any of the crimes against me. The police in every jurisdiction that I've dealt with have gone out of their way to destroy evidence or to omit evidence, to refuse to look at evidence, or to do everything in their power to abuse the medical system in order to justify their crimes. Oh, well, if we have him diagnosed with this, or this, then magically the crimes that we committed are washed away. Fuck this goddamn country. Brody D typed, hi, Sean, how are you doing today? Just found that you are online. Hey, Brody, I'm not dead. I'm hoping, but I'm not dead yet. Don't have any money to fucking live on for about the next 10 days. But on the bright side, this next paycheck that I'm getting on the 1st, it's going to be my very last check where I'm paying off bills and stuff like that to try to get caught up, at least to some degree. After I've paid out of my next paycheck what I got to pay out, the paychecks after that, I'll be able to spend the entire paychecks on me and things that I need to do. That still doesn't teach me how to do those things. A lot of these folks, but then when I got there, it turned out most of them were too fucked up on drugs and alcohol to do anything. Too fucked up on drugs and alcohol to keep their word. Meanwhile, I'm only going to these fucking people because going to cops is getting me victimized. Natalie Bollinger and her friends and family stalked me for an entire year before Natalie was killed. And I was trying to take her to court for that, while she was pretending that I was stalking her. I was being stalked, actually being stalked. While she was pretending that I might hurt her, people were actually hurting me. While she was pretending like I threatened her life and her family's life in Virginia, people were actually threatening my life and my family's life everywhere that I went. Meanwhile, she's the victim because she's pretty and because she has a vagina and because of her age. All these things that it's illegal to discriminate against somebody when it comes to hiring practices, but it's not illegal to discriminate against them if it's not a hiring practice. If it's not a hiring practice, it is perfectly fine for you to take these things out on the homeless. You can perpetrate hate against the homeless and actually use the N-word, and people don't give a shit. It's a fucking homeless person. Nobody gives a shit about the fucking homeless. It's like the Russians with the Ukrainians. Brody D type. That's good to hear, though, that you can finally spend a penny on yourself. I'm glad to be talking to you finally. Oh, we're not talking. I'm talking and you're typing. So the chances of me taking something wrong are higher than your chance of taking something wrong, because speaking is an effective form of communication. It's an even more effective form of communication when you can see the person, because you can see their body language. And body language speaks volumes. Now, my biggest problem is that I read body language extremely well. When people are bullshitting me and lying to me, it's pretty fucking easy. The problem is, in this situation, I had to hope that I was wrong. I was right, but I had to hope that I was wrong because I actually did need those people's help. Now, if this was the other way around and I was the one typing and you were the one who was speaking, then you would be more likely to take what it is that I'm trying to explain wrong because I'm the one typing. So you're reading it and you're interpreting it with your own internal monologue, and oftentimes with your own self-esteem. A lot of people took compliments as insults because their self-esteem is so fucking shitty. This video is getting on about 2 hours long. And although they removed most of the shitty comments from the bizarre case of Natalie Bollinger, although removed a lot of the negative comments because there were literally hundreds of them, some of them included threats against my life, and a lot of them are gone. But there are a lot of them that were typed later on that are still up, and I should probably make another video and start going through those. Brody D type true. I do have a cam, but I would like to actually talk to you anytime if you want. Let me know, okay? Brody, I'm gonna send you my email address. I'm gonna type it right down here for you. DOGGEBROMAN shift at gmail.com. That's my email address. If you send me a message to my email address, then I will send you my phone number and we can have a conversation on the phone. Now, on this part, obviously, after an hour and a half of talking, I finally got to some of the negative comments because those comments weren't destroyed like many of the other ones were. So we just got to those. And I do want to read a lot of those because this part right here, you start getting a lot more of those assholes who are being assholes and doing that bullshit. There's still a lot of people who are typing support at me, which is nice. It's to hear that you support me by typing at me, but really, I need people to speak out. I broke the law a lot, and I'm not going to pretend that I didn't. But every single time that I broke the law, people's lives were at stake. Their lives were at stake every time that I broke the law. Every single law that I have broken has been to save lives, not take them. Anyway, this Bud Stricker dude, let's continue reading what he typed. Um, it clearly makes people uncomfortable, dude, and makes you look guilty. Look at her posts and yours. Well, maybe you should look at my posts. Maybe you should look at my posts and hers. Because the fact is, I told the story over and over again. Over and over again before Natalie was killed. People wanted to pretend that I was obsessed because I couldn't stick my dick in an underage girl who, first of all, wasn't underage, and second of all, stood zero chance of getting my dick. But you want to shame me because of my age, because of my gender, and because of my skin color. Well, fuck it. And then he typed, if that guy was doing that to your kid, Stacy, I wonder how you'd react. An unusual case indeed. With all due respect, if your kid was doing the things that Natalie was doing, yeah, the dude is in the fucking right. This assumption that men cannot be victims, only women can be victims, white people can't be victims, only black people can be victims. Are you fucking kidding me? Meanwhile, it doesn't matter. A rapist can go rape somebody as long as he's good looking. That's what we learned from the Jeremy Meeks story. While people point at me and say, stay away from him. He looks like a child molester. He looks like a rapist. Meanwhile, Jeremy Meeks is a rapist. Ted Bollinger is a rapist. Tim Beeson is a rapist. And y'all want to pretend I'm a bad guy. Fuck you, Bud Stricker. You're a bitch. All right, I'm going to end this right now. Might try to get some sleep. I probably won't be able to. See, there's a woman on my Facebook. She's had 4 boyfriends. She sent me a friend request when Natalie died. And she's had 4 boyfriends since Natalie died. And she's in love with all of them. And then she's hateful towards them when they break up with her because she's pretty possessive. And then she'll type for fucking 3 or 4 weeks about how she tried to make that relationship work and about how terrible men are and so on and so forth. And she's fucking stalker. She stalks these guys. And she's like, Sean, I understand you. I'm like, you don't understand me. You are actually fucking stalking people. Kind of like Brett Roloff's, well, 2 of his ex-girlfriends. Fucking stalker status to the max. But we accept it when women do it. When women do it, it is socially acceptable. They have the right to do this. They should have the special right to do these things because they're women. No, absolutely not. And then we get to hear about how it's all men's fault and it's all white people's fault. Meanwhile, not all men are rapists and not all white people are lawmakers. Not all white people are judges or lawyers or police officers. Not all white people are president of the United States. Good night. Let's hope I get some sleep. It's not looking like I'm gonna.